Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review, which I am dubbing the reversal of my first misfortune review because, take a look what happened to my Pilsner glass. Yeah, I dropped it last weekend. Why did I drop it? Because, I broke one of my rules and I had over 4 beers. And why did I have over 4 beers? Well, the beer I am reviewing tonight was just so good, I could not stop myself. It just really hit the spot that night, and I was watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, and, you know, I had it on the table, and I don't think you guys can see down here, but it's a really, I'm going to try to bring this around here, it's a really narrow sort of space that I have here, because my monitor and keyboard are on a cardboard box, and yes, my life is kind of ghetto. So I was watching it, and I laughed all of a sudden, and you know, I guess I shook the desk or something, and it toppled over. And luckily, just the base broke. But have you ever tried to go and clean up broken glass after when you have 6 beers in you? It's actually quite. It is quite a task. Let me tell you, it is quite a task. Also, I'm wearing a leather jacket because it's kind of cold out. My usual flannel. I was like cleaning my chicken stuff, and I realized, you know, I was soaked up to like the elbow, and I kind of don't want to be consuming stuff wearing a shirt that was, you know, that was wet when I was cleaning my chickens for obvious health reasons. I'm kind of amazed I haven't gotten salmonella yet, considering I'm in and out all the time, and as you kind of notice, I'm a little bit, especially when they're babies, I'm a little bit lax with them, like keeping them here and whatnot while I'm doing reviews. So, what are we reviewing tonight? We are reviewing something from Maui Brewing. This is Hana Pilsner. It's something that they have made for a while, but only now started to can. And I've kind of made this speech about Pilsners before, and I think that the skill of the brewer, the skill of a brewing company and its employees, can really be determined by certain key styles, which are usually German styles, because the beers that are lagered tend to have cleanliness to the finish that makes it a lot harder to go and suss out flaws. And pretty much the most common, and I would say the prime example of that is the Pilsner. Because, classic Pilsner is supposed to be light, refreshing. It's supposed to have flavor. But that flavor is not supposed, it's very subtle, and it's very narrow. So you have a very tight sort of space that you need to hit there. And there's not much room to get things wrong, you know. An off Pilsner tastes really off in the way that an off, pale ale, well, you wouldn't even notice it at all, because a pale ale is just a heck of a lot wider. There's a lot more room for interpretation. There's, there's ways you can hide flaws, ways you can go and fudge things. Not so with the Pilsner. And that's why a lot of people, they don't use Pilsner as their flagship beer for their, startup craft brewery, because it is such a difficult style to nail and nail correctly. And so, like I said, the real skill of a brewer, well, obviously, if you want to show if you're super duper skilled, you go and make a light beer with no flavor whatsoever, because apparently making Bud Light is really difficult, but why would you want to do that? But, to make a beer that tastes good, for example, is the Pilsner style. And so we have Maui Brewing's entree into the Pilsner style. Let's go and read the label, shall we? European Pilsner malt offers sweetness balanced by a spicy hop profile. 5.2 ABV. Okay, let's go and pour this out, which is going to be something of a task now that I have a beer thing that is... Oh, no, I am not going to trust that with that. I can't put it down straight. So I'm going to be holding this with apologies. And I don't know, can you get beer glasses at Target? Because I need to get a new Pilsner glass to replace this one. Because honestly, this glass got a lot. This is a lot harder to do this than I thought it would be. Wonderful. Well, not overly bad. I'm just nervous. So, kind of on the light color side for a Pilsner, but within style. So, very light golden yellow. Nicely carbonated, as you can tell. Kind of over poured it. So, thick, fluffy white head that is dripping onto my pants. Redolent of a nice graininess. Nice cereal grains. And a wonderful, wonderful souls, hop, floralness, and spiciness. Just a little bit of spiciness, like a nice spice cabinet. Nicely refreshing. Good bite from carbonation. That transitions into a spicy hop bite right there. A nice underlying hop bitterness that emerges in the mids and then clears the palate in the end, except for the slightest hint of sweetness from those cereal malts. A nice mineral crispness in the front. This is definitely more of a Czech style than a German style, though, I would say. In that it's sort of pillowy in the mids to finish. And the residual sweetness, well, the sweetness in overall is sharper as opposed to the bone-dry German Pilsner style. So this is definitely Czech Pilsner style. A bit more minerality than your average Czech Pilsner, probably due to the usage of Hawaii water, which has very high mineral levels. For something like a Pilsner, a style like a Pilsner, water is very important. You know, a lot of brewers, they don't think about water. But when it comes to German styles, and especially Pilsner style, the hardness or softness of the water determines quite a bit. Like I said, nice cereal grain, kind of underneath the old world style hops there. Really nice interplay. Again, nothing really out of the ordinary, which it shouldn't be for the Pilsner style. You know, you're trying to hit a very narrow taste thing there. And what is most important of all? Still, big flavor. Big, yet subtle flavor. They have hit the mark on what I consider one of the most difficult styles to do right, which is why most small-scale craft brewers don't try it until they're several years in. Oh, that works. I just have to make sure that I'm very careful not to shake the desk. What I have is I just put glass up against the box, so the side of the glass is against the box, and just kind of holding it, because otherwise it would tip over. So, yeah, that works for now. And I might be so cheap as to go and keep it like that for a while. Because I'm a very cheap man. So, Maui Brewing, Hana Pilsner. I think you can get these on the West Coast now in California. Excellent Pilsner. It's not so sublime that it'll blow you out of the water like, say, a Pilsner or Kel would, or some of the other ones that I've reviewed. I've reviewed a lot of Pilsners. As you can tell, it's one of my favorite styles. I like sessionable beers. What can I say? Which is kind of funny because I think the bulk of my reviews are like kind of heavy double IPAs and imperial IPAs, which I always say, preface the review like, I'm getting kind of tired of drinking these, and yet I still go and review them. There's a world of, really sessionable beers that I haven't reviewed, and why is that? Well, because they cost the same as the heavy beers. I really need to get over that. So, Hana Pilsner from Maui Brewing Company. Give it a shot if you can find it, and hey, while I had the leather jacket on, I had to try it. That's your beer review for tonight, folks. Cheers.